the concept of leadership, I have come to discover that there are 4 powerful blocks of leadership. If you do not understand these 4 blocks of leadership, you have no business leading to start with. And that is exactly what we're going to be going into in this next series of teachings. Now, what are the 4 blocks of leadership? The first block of leadership talks about the character of the leader. The second block of leadership talks about the charisma of the leader. The third block of leadership talks about the atmosphere of the team. And then the last block of leadership talks about the loyalty of the followers. These are the things that make for sound leadership. And a good leader understands exactly what it means to have the character, the charisma, the proper atmosphere, and the loyalty of a followership for him to have a solid base that is called the leadership team. And that is why it's important that you're going to be learning in this particular course the 4 blocks of leadership. So going right along, what is the first block of leadership? This is the most important block of leadership. It is the first foundation. And like we all know the popular saying that when the foundation is destroyed, even the upright man is clueless as to what to do. And so it's important you understand that this is the most important part of leadership. The challenge a lot of times with a lot of leaders in our day and age is that they look for every other thing that they think is important, but this one. The character of leadership is the most foundational part of leadership. And you see, a person who does not develop the character of leadership, but develops every other thing in leadership, even though he may have some level of success at some point, it can never last. Because you see, the foundation of every leadership that will last is the character of that leader. What is the character of a leader? Character can also be seen as integrity. And what is integrity? Integrity is gotten from the word integration. And what does it mean to integrate? It means to make into one unit 2 separate entities. That is, if I'm able to make what I say and what I do the exact same thing, I'm a man of integrity. That is, I don't say what I would not do. I wouldn't do what I have not said. Everything I say and do is the same. That is, what I am at work is what I am at home. What I am in the public office is what I am in the corporate environment. What I am in the polity is what I am at the backside of the desert. Everywhere I go, the same character of integrity is with me. I don't have a divergent or divided understanding of myself. You see, when people lie, when people are not true to themselves, when people are not honest, when people are corrupt, it's because they lack integrity. It's because the things they say on the phone is not exactly what is in the mail. What they see in the mail is not exactly how they live their lives. What their wives will say about them is not exactly what their subordinates will say about them. They are different. They are, what's the word now? Is it compartmentalized? We'll call that. You're not supposed to be compartmentalized as a human being. You're supposed to be whole. You're a whole unit. And you're supposed to be completely integrated. To the degree that you're integrated is to that degree that we'll say you have integrity. Because that word integrity was gotten from the word integration. And so, for example, if you see a chair that has integrity, you are confident that when you sit on it, it wouldn't crumble because it is not saying what it cannot do. So when you see that chair, you already understand that whoever made that chair factored in the weight of anyone that could possibly sit on that chair in making the chair in the first place. So the components, the structure of the chair, the shape of the chair, the kind of materials that were used for that chair were factored in to help its integrity. And the same way you look at a building, the structural element and all of those things are supposed to help the structural integrity of that building. And once a building does not have structural integrity, then it does not have a value to even start with. And so any man that cannot be taken by his word does not have integrity. And every man should be able to give his word as his own person. Anyone who does not worth anything is a man who has completely and every single time eroded the value in his own words. That is, he says something, makes promises, he never fulfills his promises. He does not have character. He is not able to back up whatever he has said with performance. And so he lies. He just says whatever he needs to say to deceive people, to manipulate people. And then when push comes to shove, he's not there to back up his words because he's not integrated. He does not have integrity. This is an important block in leadership. Character means integrity, fusing every aspect of your life into one whole unit without fragments or divisions. You must not be a fragmented person. And that is where integrity begins from. And this is not something you develop when you get into an office, when you get into a public office or become the CEO of your organization. It is something you can begin with right now. Start with getting to a place early. When you agree for 8 a.m., don't agree 8 a.m. on WhatsApp and then get there 8:30 without informing the person that you agreed with on WhatsApp that you're going to come by 8 a.m. You just show up by 8:30 and they're like, oh, well, you should understand this is African time. That's wrong. You don't have integrity. If you keep doing that consistently, you must be able to marry your thoughts, your words, and your action into one whole unit. Very important. Now, how do you develop this aspect of your leadership? Now, I'll be sharing with you some 7 questions that if you can answer these questions effectively and work to improve on the results that these questions produce in your life, you will eventually become a better leader. That is, if you're able to answer the questions, and by the time you evaluate your questions or the answers you have given to these questions, and you seek to improve the quality of those answers, you will become a better leader inadvertently. Do you understand what I just said? So the first question is, do you keep your promises? If your answer is sometimes, or never, or no, or many times, it shows that you have not fully integrated your person into your words. And so it's important that you learn to fulfill your promises. If you say something, then know that you are backing that word with performance. Don't just say something to excite someone. Don't just say anything. And that is very lacking in our day and age today. You see a lot of guys that will talk to some ladies, I love you, I like you, I'm going to marry you. And then in the end, they only said all of that to get whatever it is that they wanted to get from that lady. They didn't mean it when they said those things. And that is a lack of integrity. And several people doing that to one single lady will make the lady just conclude and say, you know what, all men are the same, even though that is also wrong. But you see, that assumption or that conclusion came because experiences have proven it so in our own experience. And so we need to have a better level of perception of ourselves. If you don't take your word seriously, why should anyone in the world take your word seriously? And that is why before you make a promise, understand and know your limitations and be able to evaluate your capacity to make that promise good. If you know you cannot make that promise good, don't make the promise in the first place. Always learn to keep your promises. So the first question is, do you keep your promises? The better you're able to keep your promises, the more of a person of integrity you become. The next question, do you have commitments? Do you know what that means? Do you have people that you report to from time to time? Do you have things that you have to do? Do you have a child you have to father? Do you have a work you have to go to? Do you have a note you have to write? Do you have an account you have to settle? Do you have a report you have to create? Do you have something that is a commitment? Do you have somebody you support every month? Do you have an amount that goes to your parents every month? These are the things that talk about your commitment nature. Is there a pattern to how well you fulfill your commitments? Do you have commitments in your life? Are there people who are relying on you to come good, to come true? Do you have people waiting on you, relying on you, depending on you, and consistently you have not failed them? One of the questions they ask you when you go to the embassy is that, do you have a child? Do you have a business? They want to see a track record of commitment. When they see that you are not someone who is committed, they don't have the guarantee that when they give you this visa, you will come back to your home country. They will think that, you know what, when you take this visa, you go jackpot in that sense, and then you stay in that, foreign country of yours and never come back to your home country because you don't have anything that makes you committed in your home country. And so it's a very important aspect of integrity. Do you have commitments? Do you have things you supply resources to from time to time without fail? Things that you supply time to, things that you supply money to, things that you supply energy to. And that is a very important question for you to answer. If you don't have any commitment whatsoever, then it is a good time to start developing commitments in your volunteer work, in church, for example, in your workplace, wherever it is you find yourself. Create a form of commitment pattern or a commitment routine. This will increasingly improve your leadership capacity with respect to integrity. The next thing is, are you reliable? Do people depend on your words? Do you find yourself telling people something and they just take you with a pinch of salt? The reason why they take you with a pinch of salt is not because they just don't like you. It's not because they just feel like you're not reliable. It's because of track record. You have not kept a track record that proves to them that you're reliable. So when you go to a tailor, for example, you're a fashion designer and you promise somebody 1 week. You don't inform that person that, I'm sorry, this 1 week would have to be extended by another week because I have a lot of things I'm trying to grapple with right now. Please give me an extension. You don't say that. You tell her, don't worry, just come and collect your clothes. And the person shows up, and then you are speaking English, and you are speaking grammar, and then you can't even explain yourself because you are not reliable. By the next 3-4 times that has happened, by the 5th time the person is engaging you, and the person tells you, when should I be collecting my clothes? Even when you say 5 weeks, the person has added plus X to it because you're not reliable. It's important that you create that sense of reliability. Whenever you say something, back it up with action. Be reliable. Do people take your words seriously? And you can check the filters, you can check it, you can check the feedback from people. Whenever you tell people stuff, do they believe it? Or they have to say, you know what, promise me, give me something, guarantee me. Your word should be enough guarantee. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. That is what makes you a person of integrity. Number 4, do you run your life by your values? This is so important when it comes to integrity. You cannot be running your life by opportunities and money and benefits and you know all the corrupt practices that happen in our world today. You have to run your life by value system. The value system that you have already make your decisions in advance. That is, you're not waiting for a time when people will tell you to change the figure in a particular account before you decide what you will do whenever you find yourself in that kind of situation. Your value system determines what you will do in a compromising situation. It is not at that time to be deciding what to do. Your values already decide in advance for you. And so for you to be a person of integrity, you must be a person that also has very strong value systems. The next important and critical thing to ask yourself in developing integrity is, are you consistent? So you tell yourself, I want to start writing every Monday. And then 10 Mondays have gone, you've not written. Or you start the first week, you start the second week, and you're on the euphoria of, okay, yes, motivational speaking, yes, I can do this, I can do this. You do that for the first 1 month. And then for the next 6 months, you're nowhere to be found because you stopped writing. You're no longer consistent. Your ability to motivate yourself to keep fulfilling your own personal promises in achieving your own personal goals is a sign that you're a person of integrity. And it shows that whenever you're put in the context of a leadership that has other people involved, you would also not break your promises to them, because even the personal decisions you have made, you are committing to them. What are the things you've told yourself you will be doing? Is it exercise? Is it praying? Is it reaching out to someone? Is it mentorship? Whatever it is it listening to podcasts? Whatever it is you have told yourself you're going to be doing every day, every week, every month, are you consistent? Or one of those days you do it and the other day you choose not to because it's not convenient. You see, your ability to go beyond the barrier of inconvenience, to do what is necessary and not just what is convenient, it is to that degree that will call you a man of integrity. Number 6, very important part. Do you know your limits? Imagine somebody just brings a $2 million bill or $2 million deal to your hands and says, can you get this delivered? For example, tells you to draft a very powerful business document for him that can win him, say, $10 billion, and you get a 10% cut of that particular deal. That is $1 billion to you. But because of the way you have magnified the opportunity, you go ahead and say yes to something that you know you don't have the capacity to execute. And then you say, you know what, I can deliver it. Can you shoot this movie in 2 days? When you know that whatever it is that this guy is asking from me will take another 6 months. But you say yes to 2 days because there is a promise of cash. And you're not forthright with the person and say, guy, I don't have the capacity. Maybe if you talk to some other guy who may be able to do that, he can. But for me, I need at least 3 months to get this done. And that is even working double the hours that I would normally work. Can you be forthright? Can you be sincere? Do you know your limits? Or you tell all the people bringing the clothes to you to make for them, you tell all the 70 of them that they should bring it. And you give them the timelines as if it's only one person that you're working for. And then you give the timelines as if it's just one person. So you have to do 70 people's job in the same time frame that you're giving each of them. How on earth are you going to fulfill such a deadline? It's impossible. And so you have to know your limit. What is the capacity of your resources? What is the capacity of your person? What is the capacity of the man hours? What is the capacity of your staff? What is the capacity of your capital? And these are the things that will determine the kinds of promises that you can give your clients and your customers. If you consistently miss deadlines, if you consistently fail your customers, they will consistently keep leaving you as well. No matter how many customers come to you because of your good work, if you don't have integrity, you will not keep them because of your bad sense of integrity. And that is important for you to learn. The last thing I'd like to share with you that would help you improve your integrity is your track record. Do you have a track record of results? This is very important. Whenever you go to pitch an idea, you see, even the person that wants to invest in you would want to ask you, what have you done in the past? What are the things that you have done? What are the success stories that you have? What are the things that you can put on your shoulder as your badges that gives you some sort of a credit with somebody that wants to believe in you? I can't just believe in you without a track record. You have nothing you have done in the past. You have no volunteer work. You have not done this at a level. You have not done it at a lower level. You've not done this with another person. And then you want someone to invest millions of naira or of dollars into your business when they don't have any assurance based on your track record that you can fulfill the desires that you are saying that you can fulfill. It's important that you have a track record. If you don't have a track record, start documenting them today. If there are things that you have done in the past that should put you in a good standing, write them down. Write them in a journal. Create a track record. It even boosts your confidence. It boosts your ability to confront situations. You can tell yourself, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this. And so because I did all of those, I can do this as well. It gives you a sense of confidence. And those that you're pitching your business idea to also have that sense of confidence that, okay, if you have done this in the past, then we believe that indeed you can also commit the same capacity in making this particular new, idea a success. I hope this has really been insightful for you, because we're going to the next 3 blocks of leadership. This is very important. But for this particular block of leadership, the character of the leader, it is the most foundational part of leadership that you need to get established in. I hope you found the first block of leadership, which is character, very insightful. Get ready for the next block of leadership.